Do you feel like the only way you're going to gain visibility for your business is by paying for it? Paying for it in the way of ads? Well, I'm here to tell you that is not the only strategy in gaining new customers, and that we're primarily talking about those dream customers. And so in today's episode, I'm going to share some proven ways and strategies that you can gain visibility without having a big marketing budget or ad budget, so that you can grow your business with intention. Welcome to the Hobby to Profitability podcast. We're all about figuring out what it really takes to build a successful and thriving business. I'm Jacqueline Green, marketing nerd, AI consultant, and entrepreneur who's been through it all. My goal is to help you get the strategies, the tools, and the mindset shift you need to grow your business without the stress and confusion. Every week, we'll dive into real, unfiltered side of entrepreneurship, the mindset shifts, the strategic moves, and the unexpected lessons that come with building a business. We'll talk about what actually works and what doesn't, how to navigate those changes and challenges that you face, and how to create a business that really fits into your life. If you're ready to turn your passion into profit without the overwhelm, you're in the right place. Welcome back to Hobby to Profitability. I'm Jacqueline Green, your host. I am laughing at myself this day because I just went through my entire script outline and I wasn't recording. Of course, those things happen in podcast world, in videos that you record. Whenever you're trying to gain visibility, it's ironic or pertinent to the topic we're talking about is how you gain visibility. Well, I've already practiced the script once, so we're going to talk about it some more. So in today's episode, we're actually talking about what to do. What are the strategies that you can use to gain visibility for your brand? Remember, your brand being your business. How you can gain visibility without having a big ad budget, and that without spending money on ads. Now, when I'm talking about ads, I'm really talking about digital ads. Now, there's really three ways that you can spend money on digital ads. There, of course, are the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any of the social media posts or social media outlets. You have an opportunity to have ads. With ads, you have ads and you have a boost a post. Skip the boost for post. They don't work. You want to do your ads. And there's a great purpose of those ads. Another thing when we talk about ads are Google ads. When someone's doing a Google search, they have ads that pop up. And so as long as someone's searching for information related to topics and keywords that you have purchased your campaign around, your ad may appear. And then the third thing is doing advertising on other media outlets. So on websites, on somebody where you've built a partnership with, or that you have purchased some media promotion. Like for instance, if there's a magazine within your audience, a publication that you really like, you might purchase an ad that appears, whether it be in print or whether it be in digital. So those basically the three. When we talk about ads in this episode, that's what we're talking about, is those three types of ads. Unfortunately, when you're first starting out, you don't have a lot of money to spend on ads. You don't have a lot of money to spend on the extra things. Even as you're starting to build your company, you're starting to get some traction, cash flow can be a challenge for a lot of small businesses, and it's never really talked about, but if you've been through this and you know cash flow is a real pain, let me tell you, it's a bummer when you don't have enough cash to be able to do the things that you really have dreamed up. But it really is so important that you get out and you are visible with your brand. In today's world, you cannot really be successful without being visible. I talked to a business owner not too long ago, and she was scared to death to be on video. She was scared to death to put herself out there. She was even scared to even be on Zoom. Unfortunately, that's not going to work. If you're really wanting to build a company that is we talk about 0 to a million in this podcast, but if you're trying to build something bigger than you have to be visible or have somebody out there being visible for you and representing your brand. But that does not necessarily mean that you have to pay for a lot of ads. Yes, you can. Ads are very helpful in some ways, especially when you're targeting a certain market. But there are also other ways that we can gain that visibility without having to spend a lot of money. And unfortunately, also, ads are starting to go up in price. And so if you just don't have the budget, here are some strategies you may want to consider. Now, if you're finding this podcast helpful, I really would appreciate you just hitting the subscribe button, sharing it with a friend, share and get the message out there for us. Take a screenshot and share it on your favorite social media apps. That is helping us build our downloads. Now, and additionally, I don't want you to miss an episode because we come to you every Monday with a new episode. And yeah, I know sometimes it might be Tuesday morning, but we try every Monday. So why paid ads aren't the best way or the only way? That should be more like it. Now, paid ads can be amazing, sort of. I really question lately, though. We ran an ad campaign for one of our clients. It's been a month and a half ago. They were holding a free event. And so as part of the strategy, we looked at paying ads on Facebook because the target audience that they were wanting to attend their free event was on Facebook. Absolutely. And so we could test and look at it from a geographic standpoint of we could really target those ads within a 15 to 20 mile radius of their showroom. And we wanted to reach those folks. And so we had a certain budget. Now, what I'm noticing with some of the ad campaigns that we've been running lately is that we put a budget out there. It gets a lot of impressions. It even gets a lot of clicks, but it isn't necessarily converting. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that. But if you're planning on putting money into the budget, don't just look at impressions, which means how many people saw this within their feed. Don't just look at the click-through rate. You really have to look at how many people filled out the form and did whatever that action you're asking them to do. And so it's really important to understand that. But what I'm seeing in ads is that we're having a really high impression, a really high click-through rate, but we aren't necessarily seeing conversions, which tells me that you really have to put quite a bit of money out there to get the results just to get a few clients. I know in the real estate investment world, I have several people that I've talked to within that use ads to try to find people that are willing to sell them their house. And they are saying that leads in that realm are costing about $800 to $900 per lead, which means they have to spend a lot of money just to get one lead or just to get two leads. And those leads don't necessarily purchase or don't, in this case, sell their house to them. There is a lot of other things that go into play with that. And so you really have to look at how much is a lead worth versus ads. Now, with this client that we had, we were brought in about 2 weeks before the event. I don't recommend that. What we could have done and should have done is really had, or what they really should have done is had a real organic visibility strategy that is going all year long or that led up to that. And anytime we implement a visibility strategy, we have to take into play that it takes time. There is a lot of clutter out there. You are competing against anything and everything, including every cute little dog video you ever saw. There's just so much clutter. And so to grab someone's attention and really capture them is harder than it ever has been. And with ad prices the way they are, you got to add the organic part into that. So what are we talking about organic strategies? And some of these are very powerful and can be very helpful for you. And we have used them. But when we look at organic visibility strategies, and I mean organic in the sense that they're not paid, we're looking at building real trust with our audience. Remember, when they see your ad, when they see a post from you, whether it be organic or not, when they hear you on a podcast, whatever those things are, you are just building trust with them. They're not necessarily going to buy at that very moment. You really want to build that relationship. Unless you have a very low cost product that you're selling on TikTok or you're selling on Facebook ads, then that's different. But if we're talking your product is a little bit more expensive, quite a bit more expensive, you offer a service, you are selling on value, maybe you're an interior designer or kitchen remodeler or contractor or plumber, or I can keep going on and on. You're trying to build those relationships, and the best way to build a relationship is not necessarily ad, it's actually through visibility and strategies and organically. You're also wanting to position yourself as an expert. You are the authority of whatever you are talking about. And additionally, you want to generate word of mouth referrals. You want people talking about whatever it is that you're talking about. And so really creating that sustainable momentum is really important, and it goes beyond just buying ads. You want to plant a seed that keeps you growing long term. Now, there is a balance between, okay, I need some wins now versus, yeah, I know I'm investing in my future. So some of the strategies we're talking about today do take time. I'm not going to lie to you. They're not the silver bullet that you need if you're trying to get business today at this very moment. Ads are very good at that part. But if you have and you're building a brand and you want to build the momentum, these strategies will work for you. Let's be real. Random marketing tactics aren't going to grow your business. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping the spaghetti will stick. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, or in this case, throwing spaghetti, then it's time to take a smarter approach. The Marketing Momentum Workshop is built for small business owners just like you, who need real results, not just more marketing noise. In one 4-hour session, we will work with you to pinpoint the best strategies and create a roadmap for your business that's going to help it grow. Take the first step. Book your free marketing health check now at behindthedesignco.com, and let's get your business moving in the right direction. So let's dive into some specific ways that you can get in front of your dream clients without spending money on ads. The first one I want to talk about is guest podcasting. So guest podcasting is essentially where you are the guest on podcast. You pitch yourself to podcasts that are related to your audience, where you're trying to build your brand, your ideal client is listening to. You pitch yourself as an expert on this podcast. This is very valuable in the sense that you're sharing insights, but you're also sharing an authentic side of yourself. And so when we talk about things on a podcast, usually it's a little bit more easy flowing. You are basically asking questions, or the person's asking you questions and you're answering them. I'm amazed. I've done, 35 podcast interviews probably in the last year. And I'm always amazed. And I'm actually getting really good at the ones I like and don't like just the structure of them. And as you do more and more. And so that helps me as I start planning on bringing in guests on my own podcast of, okay, what do I want that structure to look like? I want it to be very conversational. I want it to be authentic in the sense of what, diving into some of those things that really help or have been struggles as we move through building a business. It's a really important aspect of it. And if it's all, rainbows and unicorns, you're not really getting a good vision of what it truly takes or learning from it. I'm big on learning. So the podcasts I typically listen to all have something to learn from or to understand differently or to think differently. But Podcasts are definitely a great way from an intimacy standpoint. It just in 20 or 30 minutes, you can build a relationship with somebody. The other thing is strategic collaborations. So this is where you're partnering with a complementary product or service of business. A great example of this is an interior designer and a contractor. Contractor goes in, somebody says they want to remodel their master bathroom or their primary bathroom, and they really have no idea what they want as far as finishes. That contractor might have an interior designer that they can refer them to, and that's a complementary business. Now, to go a step further, you can do co-webinars, you can do lives where when I say lives, you do them on LinkedIn, you can do them on YouTube, you can do them on Facebook and Instagram. You do some sort of free training or education together. That's how you can kind of build that strategic collaboration. You're working together to gain visibility together. Now, of course, you want to partner with a reputable business or company that has a nice brand. This gives you both exposure. Now, one thing that someone told me, and it was so true a long time ago, was that if you partner with somebody, make sure you're partnering with somebody who has something to bring to the table. So often, if they see that you have a brand and you're being really visible, they'll try to tack on and not bring anything to the table, taking advantage of you. And so if you do one of these co-webinars or a live actual event, a lunch and learn, any of that with somebody else, make sure that they're also bringing their audience and you're bringing your audience so that you are mutually collaborating. You don't want someone just to take advantage of you to try to get to your audience. Now, another idea is to speak at your local events. You can join business organizations. You don't necessarily have to join to speak at different things. You can do Chamber of Commerce. You can do industry groups. This is a great way to be able to get in front of a larger audience and really try to attract people, and it's no cost to you. Now, a couple caveats that I want to explain to you here. One, have one signature talk. Have something that you're talking about and that you're going to teach that audience. So you're going to have a title, you're going to have a description, and you're going to say, this is what the audience walks away with when I'm done with my talk. This will help you with building your pitch out. You can also volunteer and do free workshops. This will help you with visibility and kind of that authority. I'll give you a great example of this tomorrow. I am speaking at a free lunch and learn here in the Denver metro area and talking about AI and the impacts of AI on our business. And I'll be going in and demonstrating different AI solutions that someone maybe has not considered from a business owner perspective. That is a free event. I happen to know the person that was holding these lunch and learns at her workplace, and she invited me to come in. Absolutely, it's a great opportunity. We might walk away with a couple of people interested in one of our products. We may not, but it's also good practice. And I can get ahead or get in front of other people. Another one is LinkedIn organic outreach. This is something I do consistently. We reach out to people within our audience, within our ideal target market, and just ask them, hey, do you need help with this? And introduce ourselves. Now, I use a tool called Dripify.io. I keep saying it's AI, but it's IO to help me with that. There are tons of them out there, but essentially build these campaigns. I've even gone so far as doing a campaign and outreach to my existing contacts. I don't know about you, but I have this huge realm of contacts or people who follow me, and I'm simply reaching out to them and asking, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Maybe there's somebody in my own audience or my own connections that you might want to be connected to. Maybe there's a resource that I know of that you need. Not necessarily pitching that I'm selling you anything, just how can I be of service to you? Outreach is a great way, especially on LinkedIn, if you are selling in a B2B environment. You can also have real conversations. So even though I'm using Dripify to kind of get that conversation started and the connection, then it opens up that conversation and it becomes me being able to answer some of those things. I had one gentleman respond to me, and because one of the campaigns we did were around AI, and he sent a text or a message back through LinkedIn, goes, well, how do I know that you're not an AI robot? And it was one of those days that I just had to laugh and go, oh, life would be so much easier if I was. But I wrote him back and I'm like, I promise I'm real. But in there, you want to make sure you're focusing on real conversations, ask lots of questions, and don't just pitch people. The sales pitches that people are sending out are just so abrasive. Just be yourself. Now, of course, SEO still is important, whether it be creating blogs, content on your website, videos are huge. Any type of resources that really answer additional questions, FAQs within your website are really important. Those are cheap ways to be able to attract the search engines and make sure that you are showing up on page one. Now, Google tracking that traffic is free in this sense, but it is starting to become more and more, it's going to be harder and harder, but it does compound over time. I had somebody call me up and wanted to work with us, and she's like, everywhere I turn, I see you. Every search term, everywhere I go, podcast, this, that. That means our visibility strategies are working because it's starting to resonate in her head that she's seeing us everywhere. So that does take a lot of time. There's a question within SEO, but I still think it's worth pursuing at this point is what does AI, as more and more people go through chat or Copilot to search for things, how does that resonate from an SEO standpoint? It's going to change. I just don't exactly know how it's going to change, but it is going to change. But for now, we know the more fresh content, the more content you're putting out on your website, the better you're going to do around search engine results. The next one is building that referral network. Make sure you are proactive and ask your happy clients or business partners for introductions. It doesn't have to be a referral per se, but just an easy introduction that it might be something or someone that you might be able to help or that you might even just like and have a relationship, a referring relationship. Now, some people will tell you to offer incentives around this, and in some cases that's appropriate. I find with true relationships, like you are truly having a referral strategic partnership, it isn't about the referral as much as about, or the incentive of the referral, as much as it is just expressing genuine appreciation for that. You don't actually need thousands of strangers. You just need the right connections, maybe 100. So it's really, that quality over quantity every time. And so you're really trying to develop, whether it be a talk, whether it be videos, whether it be blog content that really resonates with your audience. And that, when it comes from a genuine place, is better than really overthinking SEO or any of the other tactics we've talked about. Now, we've talked about quite a few of different action items, and it might feel a little overwhelming, especially if you're a solopreneur or you're just getting started, or maybe you have a VA that's helping you. What do? There are so many different things that you can be doing from a visibility standpoint. So let's talk about how do you create that roadmap. First of all, you're going to only pick one or two strategies to focus on. Do me a favor and don't do what I do. You have this laundry list of different strategies you can go after, and you write them down and you look at them every week, and it just becomes overwhelming. There are so many places and things that I want to take this business, that I often write these down so that I know not to forget about them. But on the other hand, I overwhelm myself. So just pick one or two strategies you really want to focus on. And that's really all you're going to be able to handle if you're a small business. Unless you have a full marketing team, that's about all you can really handle. So don't try to do everything. Choose the strategies that align best with you, your products and services, and your audience, and test them out. Test them out for a long period of time, though. I know people often, you hear billionaires going, oh, well, try this, and you test, you fail, you try it again, you stop doing the things and move quick, pivot, whatever the word is. Can't find the right word in my brain. You pivot to something else. That's not necessarily the case when you're in a small business. At this point in time, you're going to have to test things. It's going to take at least 6 months to test anything. It could take up to a year to get traction. It just does. And so if you know that going into it, you know not to get frustrated after week 1 or month 1. But you do want to track along the way. Set small goals so that you can measure that. So if you're wanting to do the podcast and you want to do guest podcasting, then how many podcasts do you want to do a month? Maybe that number's 3. So if you know that's 3 podcasts a month, you need to connect with so many people and so many podcasts and pitch yourself. So if you want to be on 3, maybe you pitch yourself to 10, whatever that percentage is. And if you decide to follow LinkedIn, how many connections, new people are you going to connect with per week? So set those small goals for yourself, and that way you can measure back and look at the traction that you're making. And that brings me to my next point of tracking what's working and what isn't working. Today, we really are struggling from a marketing perspective to be seen. There's just so much going on, whether it be politically, economically, within social, within our own businesses, our own personal life world. So you are competing not just with your competitors, but with all the other people also buying for that relationship. And so it's really important that we choose what activities that are really going to resonate with not only our clients, but also our own souls, our own I want to do this versus, oh, I need to do this. Trust me when I say that you're going to be a lot more authentic. You're going to want and stick with something a lot more if it's something you're actually comfortable in doing. But you need to track the results and see what's working and not working, and give yourself enough time to be able to know, yes, this is happening or this isn't happening. It is so easy, and I can tell you from my own experiences, that you put something out there and maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, and you're like, why isn't it working? Well, did you give it enough time? There are a lot of things, like I'm saying, taking attention away from what you're doing. Make sure you're giving it enough time. Then when something is working, make sure you go deeper into that. Double down on the things that are working. When you identify little areas where you're like, wait a minute, we're starting to make progress here, do more. Double down on it. Visibility isn't about doing all the things. It's just about doing a few things and doing them really well and consistently showing up. You want to know how to build a brand? It's consistently showing up as that brand. That's it. You don't need ads. You don't need a whole big thing. You just have to show up and be authentic and do it consistently. So build a plan, build the strategies that work for you, that you will stick to, that you're comfortable with. Build that process out for yourself and make sure you're persistent with getting it done. Now, if you're ready to create that visibility and you need a brand strategy, please connect with me, because you don't want to just build out that strategy and throwing spaghetti at a wall. I had this friend, she called it a spaghetti thrower or something silly. She's like, oh, you need to make fun of it. Strategy is so important when we're marketing our business and sticking to that strategy. So if you're needing some help with what is your strategy, what is your brand, how is that going to move forward, let's work together. Let's book a free marketing assessment call with me. We'll talk about your current marketing, what's working, what's not working, and make sure that you're moving on the right track. And then if that's good, maybe we work together in the future. You can check out our website at Behind the Design Co, as in BehindTheDesignCo.com. And don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Hobby to Profitability podcast with Jacqueline Green. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a friend. You can learn more about Behind the Design at our website at BehindTheDesignCo.com, and be sure to connect with me on LinkedIn or subscribe to the Behind the Design channel on YouTube for more great business growth strategies. Now, I'll see you next time.